saying two things. It was about corruption, not the Bidens, and this is really just about one phone call. We can prove both of those false. The CNN exclusive. Giuliani was pushing the White House to get a visa for the former Ukrainian prosecutor whom the U.S. helped get ousted. Why? Because he was offering dirt on Biden. Now, they didn't give him the visa, but this is proof that his shadow diplomacy, Mr. Giuliani's, was unwanted in the State Department, and that this president was not only interested in the DNC, and as his chief of staff admitted, a quid pro quo for dirt on the DNC is also wrong, by the way, but most importantly, we can show what we know. There's a tape, a call, transcript, texts, and testimony. It wasn't just about corruption, it was about the Bidens and the DNC. And it wasn't just one call. Rudy Giuliani admitted on this show he wanted the Bidens. He told the New York Times that he was after dirt on Biden. Someone saying, quote, somebody could say it's improper. Not enough people are saying it's improper, frankly. The president himself later said this right to you.
I would recommend that they start an investigation into the Bidens.
It came out of his mouth more than once. In the phone call with his counterpart, it's the American president who brings up Biden. The text messages show Trump's guys, Taylor, Sondland, Volker. They all thought that Burisma, where Biden was on the board, was as much or more in the mix as any 2016 fancy. Then there's the congressional testimony, where Trump's own EU ambassador, Sondland, his friend, a major donor, says the deliverable mentioned in the texts, Trump and Giuliani were looking for including something they could use against Biden. So, point one is done. Now this idea about it just being about one phone call. The aid money was held up for longer than anybody seems able to explain. Months before the call and over a month after, way longer than allowable without going back to Congress to explain. So it wasn't just about the call, it's about what happened before and after. A face-to-face POTUS visit with the Ukrainians was dangled for months to get what they wanted. So many were involved. U.S. diplomats personally involved in drafting a statement to make sure it did as much as possible to benefit one person, Donald J. Trump. The VP, the Energy Secretary, White House staff, his lawyer, all to make this happen. A group effort, many acts over a long time, many months, not one call. When you follow the facts, it is clear hurting Biden, central to a sustained enterprise that spent untold taxpayer dollars and reached the highest levels of our government. The only remaining question is whether or not what we know happened is worthy of removing a president from office. Now that is a matter for Congress. But seeing what was done here, that's just a matter of common sense. Now,